Good Saturday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center tracking a severe thunderstorm warning here in play for parts of Leon County in the Florida Big Bend, parts of Tallahassee, included until 4 o'clock. Seeing some wind here within our velocity signatures here over the last little bit, the velocity product. So we're watching carefully here for that potential, maybe for some damaging winds in the area here. Just looking at some different things. I know seeing maybe a storm actually closer toward town, the downtown area, maybe getting a little bit stronger now. But on some of the previous frames, we were seeing some of this action further to the south look a little bit stronger. So definitely things can change rapidly in this situation. And right now, it looks like some of the stronger wind maybe are showing up there as we get closer toward. It looks like US 27 there. So watching that carefully there in toward Leon County. It's severe thunderstorm warning in play until 4 o'clock. So gonna be tracking this here. And right now, I do want to see some other storms here across the area as well. Let me go ahead and switch sources here. You'll kind of get an idea of what's going on as we're watching some of this action. You'll be able to see, I know, toward north central Florida, down toward the Keystone area. You can see here some lightning on the radar there. So just whenever thunder roars going toward another other severe warnings in play. As you get up toward Jacksonville, same thing with some lightning here in the picture. Some heavier downpours, so just be mindful of that threat here as we're watching the situation. I know we had that water spout situation down toward Marion County last night, down toward Sumter County there. Interesting to see that, but there's more lightning, and that can just be dangerous in and of itself. I mean, that can strike people, strike buildings, and also the heavy downpour that can lead to accidents. So just be very mindful of what's going on here on this Saturday afternoon. Again, just looking at the picture here, you see some storminess up toward Brunswick and Glenn County as well. And it looks like they just dropped that severe thunderstorm warning for Leon County just as quick as it got issued here, just getting issued in the last 10 minutes or so and already being canceled by the National Weather Service in Tallahassee. So that's definitely some good news here. Getting that good news here into the Weather Center. That has fallen apart, the overall signature, pretty quickly, but seeing some isolated spots there like we were pinpointing there a moment ago that were still looking pretty strong. We have a strong storm though in Liberty County right here as we get further on out in the far western parts of the Big Bend here. You can see getting some hail signatures to pop up when we have that triangle filled in. That means maybe a little bit stronger storm here, maybe a little bit larger hail. So something to keep an eye on here for sure. If we don't get any new warnings locally in the next couple minutes, we'll wrap it up here pretty quick. Because that warning there was supposed to last to 4, but ended up only lasting about 10 minutes or so and falling apart pretty quick. But we could have more warnings here throughout the rest of the afternoon into the evening. I know the National Weather Service, their chat session, they were talking here earlier on the Jacksonville office, and they're discussing, they were saying there's going to be a few pulse severe thunderstorms possible on the I-75 and that corridor this evening and Sunday. So that'll be something to watch here. As we look ahead into toward the timeline, I mean, other areas could have them as well. Just a general thunderstorm outlook as we go on over toward that source here. So that's some pretty good news overall. But again, stuff can pop up here pretty quick as we've talked about. Let's put the satellite on, see where some of the colder cloud tops. So we're not seeing anything really impressive, but maybe down toward St. John's and Flagler, that might be where the coldest cloud tops are in the viewing area right now. The stuff in Leon, pretty cool as well, indicating stronger accent when you have those colors there that are a little bit deeper. But let's look now at some of our other parameters. You can see our surface-based CAPE values. They're really up there, some spots over 5,000 joules per kilogram. So a lot of that energy here, but takes other factors as well. And you see the temperatures are pretty warm here too. Just quite a few different things have to come into play here, but this time of year, you definitely get these storms to pop up and go severe many days of the summer. So watching that potential. Let's take a look to the north. There's some national stories going on this afternoon. There's an enhanced risk of severe weather we'll get to, but we have some storms outside of that at this point to watch. I know out toward the Pittsburgh area, you can see we have quite a few warnings here. Getting close toward Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Seeing some nastier weather there in toward that region. You can see in West Virginia, you can see eastern parts of Kentucky there. Some severe thunderstorm warning. I'm playing a nasty area there. And Illinois, I had some tornado warnings with that earlier. This is actually getting outside the risk area now. Pattern just kind of hard to forecast, but some larger hail maybe showing up north of Champaign, Illinois there. So that's something to watch there as we get toward the University of Illinois. Seeing some pretty nasty weather in that vicinity. This axis is nearly stationary, so erratic situation. Some other statements saying more like a south of 15 movement, but you can see toward the north there's a 3 out of 5 risk here in play, and enhanced risk of severe weather. I don't see that as much here as we get later on into toward the summer necessarily, but we're seeing that here today. You see severe thunderstorm watch in play as we get toward parts there of Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin until 7 o'clock. So that'll be something to watch as we're looking out there. And then I'll take the watch off now. The filled-in part anyway, and you see the enhanced risk here going from about Mankato, Minnesota. You see Mason City, Iowa, just kind of going back and forth between the state lines there. Rochester, Minnesota. You see that in Wisconsin. We have many communities there into this. La Crosse, Madison, Milwaukee there. As we kind of show you Sheboygan, and then getting even into toward Michigan, Grand Rapids, and then Lansing right on the edge. So you're going to be watching that. The tornado threat not as much toward the east as it is toward the west, but this enhanced risk is for that wind threat there. So a national storyline. Here we don't have any type of formal risk, but again, things can pop up as we tried about, and we do have that storm toward Liberty and Franklin, where we have a significant weather advisory now in play until about 4:15, so could get close to getting a warning there here, and actually get a warning over the next little bit. Right now, again, not enough for that nearly stationary movement with this accident as well. Now, if we get a warning here, but it's a thunderstorm warning, we probably wouldn't cut in because it's a very rural area out here, but obviously if something pulls up more than that, then we would be more concerned. But I haven't had a tornado warning here in a while. This time of year, you generally don't get them. But things can spin up, and we'll keep our eyes on it, but we're not really anticipating that threat in general. But again, you're seeing here toward Liberty County, we're seeing some gustier winds there as we're getting closer to Wilma there. You see some Matra there, Liberty, Franklin County line. Just kind of have to see how things evolve. These boundaries here can spark things off very quickly. But you see there that warning for Leon was not in play for very long, as we kind of scrub between the previous frames, the current frames, but still some gustier winds in here. Still could have some winds in excess of 40 miles an hour. So I know we saw that one little area trying to develop near town earlier on. This stuff's south of the interstate, so we're not going to pop up any cameras here. But it's kind of interesting to watch the situation. You see out toward Perry. You see out there in toward areas here west of Mayo. Getting a little bit of wind action, but just got to remember when thunder roars, go indoors. I know that storming is there toward north central Florida. We're going to take a look at that here in a couple of different modes. First off, going to go to the broad view. That's moving here actually, according to this service, more toward the west right now. But we'll go ahead and zoom in. You just never know at this movement. I'm going to switch over to the Jacksonville site here in just a second to give you an update while we're on here. Just don't want to come on for just a couple minutes when we're notifying everybody that we're live. Since that warning was so short fused, but it was for a pretty highly populated area, but things pulsed up quick with that one area. I mean, that just shows you how quickly things can pulse up, pulse down here. Kind of tells the story, giving you the idea. I know, looking at some different things here, some of our different products. The weather statement saying moving west at 20 radar actually showing it's moving north, so we'll just have to see if the movement kind of changes on us here. But we have some strong storm acts in Waldo, Keystone, Orange Heights here. Just kind of looking, I mean, some of this stuff is looking like it's moving northwest, but our radar's trying to get a more northerly component of things. So we'll keep our eyes on this. But now we're keeping our eyes on Liberty County, and they have this issue of super thunderstorm warning out that way. So let's go ahead and jump on over there. Literally just coming down here. This is a very rural area around Wilma, but this is now a severe thunderstorm warning until 4:15 for a nearly stationary storm here, located 13 miles east of Stonemill Creek or 23 miles south of Bluntstown. Communities included there are those like Twin Pole, Central City, Kern, and Wilma. So very rural. Some of those areas maybe you haven't ever heard of before. I mean, cover this area, and I haven't heard a couple of those. Obviously, I've heard of Wilma. talk about Wilma a pretty good bit because of where it's located, but there in Liberty County. But some of the other areas like Twin Pole and Central City, not so much here, not in the state of Florida. But again, we're watching things carefully for you, and just keeping our eyes on things. Just trying to give you the latest information. I'm going to go ahead and check some things behind the scenes real quick, of course. Just watching this new warning pop on up. Try to give you guys the latest information here. I know the county seat for Liberty County is Bristol, so not even 1,000 there in the population as of the 2010 census. Just trying to give some perspective here. So definitely a very rural county to say the least. But again, watching things here. We're trying to give you the latest updates. Again, severe thunderstorm warning until 4:15. 346 severe thunderstorm located 13 miles east of Stonewall Creek or 23 miles south of Blanchetown, nearly stationary. So again, gonna continue to track everything. We're gonna zoom back out. That's the only warning in the state right now. Only severe thunderstorm warning in the state. No other warnings for that type of threat or any type of tornado warnings in the country right now. I've had a few today. I get a word out of nowhere. We had some accidents toward the Chicago metro area earlier on this morning there, so kind of interesting to see that. But gonna go ahead and continue to watch here the Doppler. I know there's some more severe west up to the north as we look ahead in the timeline. I know we're looking toward Minnesota right now. You see them severe thunderstorm warnings in play there. We'll continue to watch everything, but that's a very, very unpopulated area here in Liberty County where that severe thunderstorm warning is. So probably won't stay on for it, but let me go ahead and say that to you. If we weren't already on, we wouldn't come on for that Liberty County threat because it's not overwhelming and it's a very rural area, but we would post on the different platforms. But since we're already on, we won't do that. But we're watching this nearly stationary storm here. You see some Matra, not necessarily under this, but now Wilma is under the severe thunderstorm warning. This radar's actually, by the way, still in hail a little bit larger off the Eglin side. You even see a little bit of a dropout on correlation coefficients. That could be indicative of maybe hail over an inch in size. This is a warning for hail to an inch, which don't always get this time of year and in the 60-mile-an-hour wind gust potential. But we're watching this carefully here for you in the Weather Center. Just trying to see what is going on here. Some are different sources. See if we're getting new information in from the Weather Service. Anything like that. Just trying to make sure everything's good here. This morning coming out 3 minutes ago, only 168 there in the population, and contrast that with the other warning that we had issued there. That was only in play for about 10 minutes, but it actually included over 100,000, so that's a huge population difference. Granted, people be traveling through these different areas here, especially on a Saturday in the summertime, and you gotta be careful in those situations, but over 106,000 one warning, again only 168. But when we have storms around, you're unfamiliar with the area, just take it extra easy out there. Be cautious on the roads. Again, we'll continue to watch this here in the Weather Center, looking out there at ward areas of Liberty County, looking at some of the different tilts there on the Doppler, trying to give you guys some different scans of what's happening. You see toward northern Alachua County around Waldo, quite a bit of lightning there as we zoom on in. Just kind of giving you guys that perspective here. You can see here quite a bit of that electrical energy down there in Alachua County. Again, the movement's kind of erratic with some of this accident, so just stay on guard here. We'll be watching. You see some storminess up toward northwestern Duval County around Baldwin. There, getting there. Some of these different spots, got to be really careful. You see Taylor County there. This electrical energy can be dangerous. Northern and northwestern parts of Levy County. Again, Leon County, some of that's what we came on for, but again, that warning no longer in effect. And then the warning that's in effect right now is for parts of Liberty County, rural parts there of the area in Liberty County until 4:15. So right now, one severe thunderstorm warning in our area. We have 10 others in the country here, 11 total. But we'll continue to watch things. We won't if necessary, but otherwise, just continue to watch that severe thunderstorm warning spread out toward Liberty County till 4:15 this afternoon. Some hail popping up within the Doppler picture. This is actually showing up really high now on this analyzed view here of hail tracker. So This definitely could be getting over an inch here. That's a little concerning. That's the strongest this storm's been. So, and it just pulls back down a little, so that's good. I think it did. Let me double check here. At least it's trying to show it pulsing down in our one mode, but I think it's still showing it at 1.65 right now. So let's wait one more scan here because I hate to just go back when it's at its strongest. Even though this is a very rural area, obviously you can tell how, I mean, there's barely anything out here. There is a road, so people could be getting caught in a hailstorm here. We're talking about the road that takes you there between Wilma and Sumatra. It's State Road 65, so I just got to be kind of mindful of that. So the hail has come down now a little bit. It was 1.65 on our last scan, now 1.42. So maybe if we get this down in the next scan about 1.2 or something like that, or even less, and we go ahead and wrap it up here. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. But let me go ahead again. Just watch that. That's the only storm that's really showing that right now. Hail up to about 1.4 inches in diameter there. Again, this is over. It looks like State Road 65, the road that takes you there between Wilma and Sumatra in Liberty County. I initially came on for Leon, but you don't see even anything showing up in Hail Tracker there. Most of other areas we're not seeing much on Hail Tracker either. Maybe some small areas of hail signatures, but not enough to even show up in our system here. So we'll continue to watch this here carefully. In a new significant weather advisory now until 4:30 for parts of Duval as well as Charlton, Baker, Nassau there. So let me go ahead and go back to the Jacksonville radar because we definitely could get some more warnings here in different spots. So even though we're talking about one spot right now, things can change quickly. Have to shift our attention. That can happen a lot this time of year during the summertime. So just kind of stay mindful of that potential for some severe weather. I hear some thunder even in the background where I'm at here. So let me go ahead and switch on over right now to our other source. Give you guys some information here. You can see Bryceville getting into some of this right now. Maybe gusts to about 40 miles an hour. The latest statement here from the Weather Service is 45 to 55 mile an hour winds. So not far from having to be a severe thunderstorm warning issue that this axis moves off toward the west. And see a boundary here now. It's up to kind of see how what happens, how things come together. That's actually being pushed out. So we're just going to see how maybe we get a spark up of more action here. Maybe up toward the west. We'll just wait and see. But let's go ahead again. Talking about, I know I-75 there. Maybe we could get a increase in coverage in that general area of the storm. So I know all this stuff right here may not mean a lot to you with the velocity values. Just the brighter colors generally would be indicative there and indicate some stronger wind gusts. I'll take off the velocity real quick. So there's some more gusts. These are actually observed gusts here over the last little bit. You see 34 there toward Cecil Field. Those will be the highest here, looking to be the highest as we get toward the region. So that hail tracker now still an even smaller hail. Granted, still severe, but even smaller hail there on that road between Wilma and Sumatra down to 1.14. So this storm still severe in nature. Still got to be careful, but it is pulsing down some. That's good news. If we need to be back on with more coverage, we will. But otherwise, make sure you go to cloudweather.com for the latest. When we're not on the air, you can get that interactive radar. You also have different platforms for our live coverage when we're on the air, or just to review the live coverage on the YouTube. That's something you can just pull up on your Roku TV, something like that. Just search my name on there and then watch the coverage from that platform as if you're watching on a more traditional television setup there. So something that you can do with the coverage to kind of be able to look at things maybe a little bit clearer. Hail size now under an inch on our latest scan of hail tracker. So that's good news, Liberty County, but that warning still continues. Stay safe out there. Lightning threats, heavy downpour threats, even some hail and wind threats to continue here. We'll be back as necessary throughout the rest of the day and tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. Of course, our formal update later on Tuesday. So just keep it here to Cloud Weather. We'll keep you informed.